This is the state of the site now, and I've worked on it twice. So I did the initial pass where I set everything up and basically just created the home page and like set up the back end on GitHub because I'm hosting this on GitHub Pages. And then the second phase that I did was to add a page for my setup. And today I'm going to be working on that page a little bit more because I want to, right now it's just blank, but I want to sort of mimic my beacons.ai page and have like a grid of pictures of items in my setup. And I think that'll probably take as much time as I have to spend on this today. I also want to spend some time kind of fixing things that need to be optimized for mobile because I got a few comments saying that I should keep that in mind, and those are really good tips. Thank you, because I was only looking at it on my desktop originally, and I think that like the home image and maybe some of the text look funky on a mobile device. So before I add too many things to my site, I want to make sure that it works on mobile and looks good. So I'm gonna spend some time on that first, and then I think go into the setup page and add in some photos and links. This is what the site looks like on my phone. So this picture here, the home page is a problem, and overall this just doesn't really flow very well. I think the text is actually fine. So the text is set up correctly, but the image and then the embedding of, yeah, if I like zoom out, that looks terrible. And probably the same thing on my setup page. So this needs to be fixed. Okay, so my next step is going to be to add all of my pictures of different things in my setup to the setup tab on the website. And this is the beacons.ai page, and I actually don't really like the way that this is set up because I feel like having the photo so tiny is like hard to see, basically. I think it's fine when you're using a phone, but on the desktop especially, this doesn't look good to me, and I think the text is the less important part. So I want to try to make it so that I've got pictures maybe in like a 3-column grid where it's just a bigger picture and then a little text underneath. Okay, so this looks like what I want, an image gallery, and just look to see if this makes sense to have, like, this is one row, but to be able to have multiple rows. Yes, so it looks like it, and they even have a mobile responsive CSS here, so they're saying that it will rearrange the images to be stacked depending on the screen size, which I guess would be fine, although I'd kind of rather the size of the boxes just adjust. So I might see if I can figure out how to do that a different way, or that might be something that I add later. I'm not really happy with the way that this grid is looking here, because the images are different sizes and so they're not in a straight line. I think overall the grid is fine. I don't know if I want to change it to a different way of displaying the images, because I do like the image gallery here. But I think that what I'm gonna do is go back and crop all of these images so that they're the same exact size, and maybe like make them squares instead of some rectangular in portrait and some in landscape. So I'm gonna crop all the photos so that they're the same size. And then I'd also like to add some more border on the side of the gallery. I think that it comes a little too close to the edge of the page. I'd like there to be a little bit of a margin on both sides. And I think that'll pretty much be it. After that, I might tweak the text, and I don't know if I really like this thin black border around. I was basically just copying it in with the example code here from W3 schools, and then I'm planning to change it to make the CSS match the rest of my site basically. So first step is going to be to crop the images. I think that'll make a big difference in how it looks. This looks much better to me now with all the photos squared Like I said, I still want to add some more buffer margin around this and then change the text, and I think I'm gonna add 2 more just so that it looks better. It does seem like these are somewhat dynamic. I think this is probably what it will look like on a phone, which is a little large. So I may need to play with this a little more, but I think it's a good start.
Feel the waves. Feel the rhythm.
I fixed it so it's looking pretty good now. I think I'm happy with the way it looks. This is kind of how I envisioned it looking, just a grid with larger photos and then the text, and the background is matching with my favicon here. When you hover over the images, it pops up with this like slightly darker green color that kind of still matches. It also is performing well when you resize, so I'll obviously try this on my phone once I actually update the site. This is just using the live viewer extension, so this isn't live on my website yet. This way, this is the before still. So just these 2 video pages. I also need to add the actual links. So I'm going to add a target link for each one of these images to my Amazon links page. Then I think that will be it. I might move this PC build down to the bottom, I think. There's a couple other small changes that I'm just gonna make, mostly to the home page. I think I need to add in a couple of page breaks between the top header and then the embedded video that I have. And I also updated that link to the part 2 video instead of the part 1. And I think next time I'm going to add in some other like photos of my setup and links to social media, just to kind of like make the homepage look a little nicer, because it's kind of plain right now. Pretty happy with the setup page. I think that came out good. I don't have any other big changes that I want to make to it, but I think I'd like to work on the homepage a little more next.